Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest and exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Motorhead Garage is presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. You know, if you've got a performance vehicle up in space, under the sea, or on terra firma, you probably have a rod end in it, and if you don't, you probably should. Now, Bob, you are the man behind Rod End Supply. Tell me who's using rod ends.
Well, a lot of the rod ends, of course, are used in racing components of all different types and all different types of race cars.
Which is why you're here on Motorhead Garage.
Which is why we're here on Motorhead Garage. And also, too, they're used in industrial equipment, farm equipment, lawn and garden. There's multitudes of uses for rod ends. Basically, a rod end is used so the unit itself, whatever you're attaching the rod end to, has more movement, like on a suspension part. It helps the vehicle hook up better on the track, makes it ride better if you've got a street car. So there's numerous things that the rod end lends itself to.
Why is it so important to have a rod end instead of some other connector?
What they do is they allow the suspension to move freely, but yet it's not sloppy where it lets a wheel move one way or the other. It keeps it in the suspension arc of where it should be. And that is the biggest reason. Ball joints, which are typical on most of your street cars, they have a tendency to wear, and they kind of let things move around a little bit more. And a lot of times they don't have as much movement, or you can't get as much suspension articulation with a ball joint as you can with a rod end.
I gotcha. And you brought a bunch of different rod ends and different parts and pieces here. So let's talk about some of the different applications and what you brought along.
There's lots and lots of varieties of vehicles. The larger parts are used like on off-road, such as trophy trucks, monster trucks that you see on TV all the time.
And those take a lot of abuse.
We have various and sundry sizes. The largest has a 1-inch hole with an 1.25-inch thread. And then we go all the way down to the smallest, which we make for Disney. And this part's got a 540 thread with a 440 hole in it, so it's very small.
And what would that be used for?
Normally used in the animatronics, where you see the figures, their eyes move and their ears move. We have bushed ends as well. This one was made for the Jeep industry. It's used on other vehicles as well. And then a lot of the street rod industry, muscle car industry, uses these particular joints. And once again, it's a bushed end. Ours has a stainless steel sleeve instead of just a plated or a non-plated steel that normally rusts. The body itself is forged, so it's very strong. Then this is a 95 durometer poly bushing. So it allows it a little bit of movement.
And not as much freedom of movement. That's where you just need one axis. And
one axis, for that. Correct, yes. And then we make other components to go with it. We have these high misalignment spacers that go into the uniballs. They also go into the rod ends, and that allows for more articulation for the joint itself. We also make what we call uniball cups, and these pieces are put in there. These you use in suspension components like making A-arms and that type of thing for the front end of a vehicle. And then you use these instead of a ball joint, which you'd find on a standard automotive car. As well as having the rod ends, which are threaded, we also have other parts that we manufacture and sell, and these are tubes or connectors. They're commonly referred to as radius rods. We have them in aluminum and steel. We also have them in a chromoly steel with a welded end. We also have clevises. We have adjusters. These adjusters are used a lot in the drag industry and the muscle car industry as well. We make a lot of high misalignment rod ends where actually there's a lot more articulation with a high misalignment rod end than there is a standard rod end. And we make parts for shock absorbers. We make different types of links or connecting links and specials. We do a lot of specials.
We have some special parts, but I see a few that look a lot more familiar. What do you have over there?
Yeah. This is our injection molded race rod end that we're basically noted for. This has our red material that we developed called Nylofiber. And basically that's a combination of Teflon, fiberglass, and nylon. And we injection mold that into the body. It goes all the way around the body, so it takes the place basically of a Teflon liner. So it doesn't need lubrication. It allows you a lot of movement, and it's very durable.
And that's exactly what we used on the altered dragster we have here in the studio. Tell me why the old ones needed to be replaced.
Well, the old ones has starting to get loose, and that is allowing the rear end to move around. And on the drag strip, you want everything in the right spot. Otherwise, the rear end starts moving around, right side might move back a little bit, the car is going to veer off to the left. And so that's stuff that you have to stay up on as far as your maintenance. Make sure if the rod ends are starting to loosen up and get loose, they need to be replaced.
And typically, how long do we have to go between replacing them?
Depends on the car, depends on how much they hook up, how much horsepower they have. But you should check them probably at least every 2 to 3 weeks just to make sure.
Well, everything Rod End you can find at rodendsupply.com. And you can find us right after this break, so do not go anywhere because Motorhead Garage will return.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. Oil Udder, funny name, clever tools. And by NH Oil Undercoating, the official oil-based rust prevention system.
You are watching Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, and you just got to look at the AP Laser. It's a great device. It's going to help you customize just about anything. Bradley Powers, you've been in the printing business for a long time. What made you decide to grab an AP Laser and start doing stuff with that?
It's all about diversification and trying to expand our outreach. And as you can see from previous times that we've been on the show to even now, there's a lot of things you can do with the AP Laser that you just can't with other machines.
Why did you pick AP Laser over the other lasers that are out there?
So AP has a patent on the open architecture, so that bottom Z-bed comes out and you can pass through anything you want to. So you're not stuck and limited by just we have a 4-foot pass-through door. No, we're not limited by size, we're not limited by thickness, we can do whatever you need.
So explain the open architecture a little bit more.
So the open architecture allows us, as you can see with the barrel that we've done on the show previously, to remove that Z-bed and roll a barrel underneath and not have to lift that barrel up or anything special. And that top actually comes off. So you can take it to a floor in a commercial building and etch their floor if they need it done. Very
cool. And you brought an array of things that you do here every day in your business. So let's talk about the different materials that you're etching on with the AP Laser.
So you have acrylics with the night lights and the Virginia International Speedway cutout that you can see down below.
Which I love, by the way.
Yes, it's a great track. And as you can see, night lights are very popular. You can do racing themes, you can do children's themes. The list goes on, and then you can venture out. As you can see, this mini cowhide rug, which is a very hot market item right now, and who doesn't love Dolly Parton and Betty White?
Not it. I love them both.
It costs a lot of money to look this cheap. I live by that motto.
Absolutely. I love it. Now, how hard is it to go from one material to another? Because here we have a cowhide. We've seen you on the show doing metal. We've seen you doing wood and all these different fabrics and everything. So how hard is it to go from one thing to another with the AP Laser?
So the best part about the AP Laser is it comes as a turnkey package. So you are ready from day one to do whatever you need to do, whether it be changing up to a rotary, to flats, to taking the Z-bed out and doing something else. They have that turnkey package, which makes it super easy. And you have a list of test settings that you can go by, and then you can get on the Facebook user group and see what other people are doing, or you can always call the 24/7 tech support and get an expert's help.
How good is the tech support when you call?
I can tell you I've called at 3 a.m. and actually got a person who answered, and they were not asleep. They were perfectly awake, and they were able to help me, and I was able to get back in about 15 minutes.
Now, the AP Laser takes something that's ordinary and makes it into something extraordinary. What is it like when folks, bring in an object just like the cowhide or something like that, and you give it back to them and it's personalized?
For example, the Western world and the cowhides, we will take and put the newborn's name on it, and they will take their newborn photos on that rug, and that becomes kind of like a blanket. And it's just something that no one else can do. It's very special.
Let's talk about some of the projects you've done on the show and some of the stuff you've done elsewhere as well.
We can go all the way back to the first time we were here on the show with the DeSoto and the custom valve covers, the oil cap cover, and we can even go to the inside of a car where you can do leather etched headrest and leather custom upholstery for the upholstery shops in your area. You can take it and go all the way to the drifting car where we did the intake manifold cover for that racer. And that was something very special that meant a lot to you.
And some of the coolest stuff you've done, body panels on the outside, and even a car hood.
Yes, we did the Screaming Chicken hood on Performance TV, which was very cool.
You had a successful printing business. What did you do when you decided to add the AP Laser? How did you decide which machine to add to your arsenal?
Well, Shannon helped us out a lot with that because she dived into how we do print on demand, embroidery, screen printing, banners, signs, the whole kit and caboodle, and she actually saw that we needed the larger machine based on our needs and our projections. So we chose the larger machine and we haven't looked back. And that's the reason why we love AP Laser and their sales team, because they will actually help you decide which level laser you truly need, whether it's the largest or one of the smaller units.
Well, there's a whole lot of reasons to love AP Laser. You can check it out at aplaser.com/TV. We will return with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coating, so do not go away.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. If you own a Jeep, you no doubt bought it for the simple Jeep life. Easy living, right? Well, guess what? You probably found out Jeep life can be kind of complicated, especially when it comes to taking the doors off, taking the top off. Creates a whole set of unintended consequences, but you've got some solutions for that. Brian at Easy Trunk, now tell me what you're doing here for the doors. You took those off.
Taking the doors off has always been a problem because no one really makes a cart that works well. We ended up making a cart that you can carry with you. It folds up so when you're traveling, you can take it and you can roll it into your hotel, and you could actually use the cart for carrying your bags. You know, you bring it to the Jeep because the doors are heavy, and you can roll around in your garage too.
It's a fantastic idea. And now, another problem that I've encountered when hanging out with friends that have Jeeps is that you end up out in the rain and you're trying to unload the Jeep, and this is all you have here with the isinglass hanging over. Your rear end gets wet.
Always when it rains.
Every single time. Or this thing, if you flip it up onto the roof, it comes down and hits you in the head just about every time. And you have a solution for that as well.
Well, that's actually how I came up with the idea. I think it hit me once, and I had a brainstorm.
Didn't Isaac Newton have that happen with the Apple?
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing.
And I ended up coming up with something that makes it really versatile. It takes the regular window and turns it into a hatchback. Check it out.
It's as simple as that. Wow.
And a lot of people think you have to buy a lot of stuff with it. No, you don't have to. It just comes with a simple kit with the bars, special clamps that go on here, a clamp that goes on the roll bar, and it works from the TJ all the way up to the 22JL.
And easy to take off if you're taking the top off?
Oh, simple. Just take this off right here. There's a clip right here. This folds up. And there's a Velcro here that has two purposes. One, to hold the easy window. Two, it stops the seatbelt from getting chatter. So you wrap it around the seatbelt, and it's a multiple use product.
And let's talk about luggage here. You were able to bring it with you on the road trip here and talk about trunk space. Trunks can be an issue with your Jeep, especially when you're running with the top down. So tell me what you come up with there.
Well, part of the thing, there's wants and needs. Want to make your Jeep look good, but you really need to have security. You know, like when you go into a hotel, it's a problem. When you just go anywhere or out to dinner, you're always looking out the window to see if anything's missing or you brought it in with you.
So what's the solution?
What we did was we came up with a trunk that folds out automatically. It installs in about 3 minutes. It goes to your, connects to your regular tie downs, and it's from the TJ all the way up to the JL.
Let's see how it works. Obviously, as we saw, we have your whole trunk when you're bringing all the luggage along.
Yeah.
Once you get that emptied and you want to go topless and go into the restaurant in the evening or something like that, you can put the wife's purse in here, duffel bag, your computer, and it's just as simple as that.
Wow. So it's pretty rock solid. You can't get into it. It stops, you know, 50% of our sales are actually for hard tops because they're taking off their doors. It stops snatch and grab, and when the Freedom top's off, you need security.
Fantastic. I see there's a hatch in there if you want to put something in from the inside so folks can't see what you're putting in your trunk, and when you close the door, that thing is as solid as can be.
Yeah, that too. And the other cool thing is you can drive with the window up. So in the summer, you know, people want to take their windows and it's a real pain in the neck. In the morning, you just go, put a clip in, and drive with it up all day.
And you can make life with your Jeep even easier. Check them out at easytrunk.com. You can buy some of their stuff there. You can also become a dealer, so go check them out. Well, the old Dauber Cruiser's been chugging along for 15 years, and it's still running great, I'm proud to say, but through the years, the elements kind of get to it, and believe it or not, this trim and all the plastic around it used to be black, and I've been looking for a solution for a long time, and thankfully, you guys have come along from the last coat, Nick. You have something that'll help me, you tell me. What
I
you got?
do. It is CeraTrim here. This is a trim restoration product. You can use it on a gray trim, a black trim, pretty much most any color plastic, this will restore it. It is a clear product. It is not a dye, so we're not going to add an artificial coloring to the plastic. We're going to get that look that was originally there using this product. Also offers protection since it's ceramic based, so we're going to get great hydrophobics and self-cleaning properties once we apply this here. And all around, it's going to make our trim look better and easier to clean down the road.
Oh, you say easy. How easy is it to apply? What do you
About
have to
as
do
easy it is to keep clean, that's
right,
for sure.
cool.
So let me show you here. We don't really need a lot, so we're just going to put a little bit here on our applicator.
That already looks 10 times better. 100 times better. That's amazing.
And if you get it onto your paint, you don't need to worry. So
Okay.
we only have the tape line here so we can see the big difference. We aren't worried about taping off the actual paint. If we get it on there, we can just wipe it off.
All right.
But as you can see, it is literally that easy to get it back. We're going to let this dwell. You can let it dwell as long as you want, even up to probably an hour or so. Most people probably do a minute to 20 minutes even, depending upon how degraded it is. Then you're going to take a microfiber towel and buff it off. But I wanted to also show you a trick. If you have a really textured plastic, we're going to use a damp microfiber, or if it's even a very big section. This is going to help get some of this residual residue off of there, and it's going to make our life just much easier to actually buff it off with a dry microfiber towel.
Incredible results.
So then we'll take our dry one.
How often do you need to apply this?
This is going to last for 6 to probably 9 months, depending upon your vehicle's condition and where it's kept and that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So as we can
Oh
see
my
there,
goodness.
yeah,
I love
like,
it. Sold.
Looks like a brand new Xterra.
Leave the bottle here, please.
You got it.
All right, you can get your own bottle. You can check them out at thelastcoat.com/motorhead. And if you go there, there is a special deal for you, Motorhead Garage viewers. Go check them out. We've got a lot more products coming up for your vehicle next on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coating. So do not go anywhere.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. Thumper Fab, fabricator of the best UTV audio roof on the market. Tire Checked, the highest rated tire repair and flat prevention product on the market. And by Borwa, the world's most winning exhaust.
There's a lot of technology in today's cars, and you probably have this on your vehicle, Tom, but a lot of folks have never really seen what it looks like, and here it is. Tell me about this part.
It's a tire pressure monitoring system sensor, and it's also the valve stem. It actually is measuring the pressure inside the tire. There's a little battery in there, and it sends a signal to the computer in the car telling the tire pressure. And that's still the most common system. Over the last 8 or so years, some manufacturers have been using a completely different system for measuring TPMS. They're not really measuring tire pressure, they're measuring the tire circumference.
Also, if the tire loses air, it's going to become squished, or if it's overinflated, of course, it's going to be a bigger circumference.
Right. They're relying on the ABS wheel speed sensor, so if it becomes squished, then it rotates a little faster, and the computer will light up the TPMS light. But it's good to keep in mind with those what you're measuring. You're measuring the circumference, so there could be errors if the circumference is squished because you hauled home a bunch of cinder blocks in your trunk, or if your child did a bunch of burnouts and wore the tread off of one tire, then the computer will say, hey, this circumference gone out of whack. So it's good to check the owner's manual to see which system you have. If you have directly measuring the air pressure, or you have the ABS wheel speed sensor measuring the circumference. And another clue is if there's on the dash or on the infotainment screen, if there's a reset for the TPMS system, then it's most likely using the ABS wheel speed sensor to measure the circumference, because having that button makes it easier to reset.
Like Tom said, check your owner's manual to see what system you have, and when you know what part you need, you can find it at rockauto.com.
Time now for the lowdown with Magic Creeper.
Viewers of Motorhead Garage likely know all the things you can do with a Magic Creeper around, on, and under your vehicle. But if you own a recreational vehicle, well, you're going to find that the Magic Creeper is the most useful tool that you own. It all starts in your driveway. When you're getting ready to go on a road trip, use the Magic Creeper to get under the vehicle to do a visual inspection and check for all the leaks before you get going. And then if you find you've leaked a lot of fluids and you need to replenish those, you can use the Magic Creeper as a fender cover, so you can protect your vehicle and your clothes while they stay clean too. And don't forget to check your tire pressures. That's super important and super easy when you're using the Magic Creeper to kneel on. Believe me, your knees will thank you. Once you get inside the RV, if you need to make any repairs to your plumbing, you can use the Magic Creeper to slide in and out from under the sink, and your back will thank you for that. Once you're set to hit the road, you bring the Magic Creeper with you. Roll it right up. You can store it just about anywhere. Only weighs a few pounds. You can roll it up and fit it under the seats or in one of their storage compartments underneath. If you have a breakdown along the way, especially a flat tire, you'll be glad you have the Magic Creeper with you, and especially if you have the optional emergency kit. The kit has a poncho to keep you dry, gloves to keep you clean, and a reflector to keep you safe when you're on the side of the road. You also get some basic tools to make some emergency fixes, and of course, jumper cables to get you out of a jam if your RV or if the vehicle you're towing will not start, or if you got a friend who needs a little help, the jumper cables will get you out of trouble. And when you get to your campsite, you'll no doubt find even more uses for the Magic Creeper. You can even use it as a pad for your sleeping bag if you want to sleep under the stars and enjoy the great outdoors. The imitators are out there, but you need the original Magic Creeper settle for no less. You can find it at magiccreeper.com. We are out of time for this episode of Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, but never fear, we're going to do it again next week, and we'll have more great products for your vehicle. And if you have a great product you want to see showcased on our show, email Jeff at masterstv.com. From our entire crew here at our Borla Studios, we'll see you again next week. So long.